Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. There's some big news today on the economy as it relates to inflation and housing affordability. I'm going to talk about those very important updates. It's not all positive news, but there is positive funding news. For example, this $1.8 million SBA EIDL loan we just heard was approved from one of the folks we've been helping. I'll talk about that funding, who is getting approved at the moment, who is still waiting. So I hope you can watch this quick video. I'll keep it short. 3 main points today: the economy as it relates to inflation, that effect on housing affordability, and the positive spin when it comes to funding for you as an individual or a small business owner. Thanks for subscribing, turning on the alerts, and liking this video. It really helps us when you hit the like button. So just hit it. I would love to see if we can get to 3,000 likes in today's video. I think we can do it. Next Wednesday, we are picking $1,000 grant winners. We will pick at least a few live on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see us pick winners live, of course, subscribe so you can see us live, but also go to helloskip.com/1K. It's free to enter. Just log in, answer a few questions, and you're entered into our monthly $1,000 grants. If you want $1,000 to power your passion, there's also $1,000 credits for Skip services. So just a reminder, we're doing that next week. And of course, if you want funding help, like this example I just showed you, helloskip.com/join. We have some premium and VIP spots left tomorrow and next week. We would love to do our best to help you, especially for the reasons I'm about to talk about, which is that U.S. inflation accelerates to a 40-year high. This is from the Wall Street Journal this morning. 7.5% is the current U.S. inflation. Strong consumer demand and pandemic-related supply constraints continue to push up prices in January. Here's how that chart looks. You can see going all the way back to 1982, the last peak, 8.4%. It is now up to 7.5%. That's a major deal. The Labor Department just released this morning, the Consumer Price Index. That's higher than December's 7% rate and well above the 1.8% annual rate. That was the rate pre-pandemic. So let's talk about what's going up. It's a lot of things I've talked about before. The used car prices continue to drive overall inflation, rising 40.5% in January from a year ago. Food prices surged 7%, the sharpest rise since '81. Restaurant prices rose, up 8%. Grocery prices up 7.4%. So think about that. Major things in your life: food, restaurant, grocery, all up 7% plus. Energy prices rose 27%. And look at this quote right here from a small business owner. Quote, "To a small business owner going on her second year, it adds up, as in all of these extra costs. So I'm hyper aware of the slightest increase because every dollar counts." So what did this person do? She raised prices 10%, and she says, to her surprise, customers were supportive. I've talked about this before. If you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, everyone in the US is generally aware that inflation is a real thing. Maybe not to the extent that was announced this morning, but if you need to raise prices to pay employees, to pay for supplies or equipment, hopefully your customers are supportive of it and they may expect it. Would love to hear in the comments, have you had to raise prices recently? If so, what types of prices? Feel free to share, because I think a lot of you will find you're not alone in the comments if you're struggling with inflation, and what are the things you are doing about it. And I'll highlight some of the best comments in tomorrow's video. Prices for autos, household furniture, and appliances all going up. Here's a graph that shows Consumer Price Index 12-month change. And another headline: where is inflation hitting the hardest? Groceries, utilities, and rent. Costs of everyday items are rising the fastest. So of course, that has the biggest impact. These aren't discretionary items that you can just say, I don't need food, or I don't need to pay rent or utilities. Actually, those 3 things are core. You need to pay them, and those prices are going up the most. The number 2 point, how this relates to housing affordability. I just mentioned rents are going up, but median sale prices for single-family existing homes was higher in the fourth quarter versus a year ago in 181 out of 183 metro areas. Think about that. Every metro area in the US, but for 2, prices have gone up. The COVID-19 pandemic helped spark a nationwide housing boom, with prices rising rapidly in every corner of the US, but intense competition has pushed more buyers out of the market, especially at lower price points. In the fourth quarter last year, a typical monthly mortgage payment for a single-family home rose to above $1,200, up from just over $1,000 a year earlier. So basically, the average increased by $200 across the board. And interest rates are going up. Take a look at it here. Here's the average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage. Of course, seeing record lows in December 2020, a little uptick beginning of 2021, then down again last summer, and then starting in the fall when the Fed started talking about we're going to taper the bond purchases to try to control inflation. That's when we've seen this spike. And we were about at where we were. Basically, right now, we're equivalent to January 2020 level. And we can see that in the stock market today. You know, it's down a little bit. Not a huge hit, but here's the 5-day look. It's up overall, but it has dipped today. So have you been looking to buy homes? Would love to hear if these issues are affecting you. Not only are housing prices going up, but the mortgage rates are going up as well. And there's still the supply pressure that we've been seeing over the past 2 years. But let me end with point number 3, funding for you as an individual or a small business. You know, you're probably thinking about what can you do about rising rents, utilities, and grocery costs? What can you do about the lack of housing affordability? Of course, try to get your income up, whether that's a fixed salary, whether that's your business, trying to get more customers, raising your own prices, finding grants, or taking out low-interest government loans. Actually, I want to bring this up again because look at this. Right now, a fixed rate mortgage, 3.69%, that is about the same as what the 30-year EIDL loan is. Of course, those EIDL loans is for your business, but it's just to underline the good deal that is EIDL loans. We did a survey a day ago. Are you still waiting on EIDL funding? 1,000 votes, 57% of you, I'm going to round up, 6 out of 10 said you're still waiting on EIDL increases or reconsiderations. Always a big surprise when I see how many of you watching, tuning in, are still waiting. Many probably being opportunistic. Maybe you got 10K or 100K. You're trying to get up to the 500K, or in many cases, you're trying to get above 500K to lock in $1 million or $1.5 million or the full $2 million. 22% of you say you've given up on looking for more EIDL funding. And 2 out of 10 of you have said you've already received all the EIDL funding you need. So congrats to those folks. For everyone else, don't give up, especially now. I want to tell you this story here. This was a thank you note to Ray this morning. Ray's on our funding concierge team. We have an incredible team that's helped tens of thousands of folks get collectively over $1 billion. With this, we helped them get up from the initial 500K up to 1.88 million. Again, these are loan repayments. Loan repayments will have to start next year. And for an amount like this, it'll be, I think, $8,000 or $9,000 per month. Always keep that in mind and whether you need it or not. And are there other options like lines of credit or private lenders so you don't get complacent by saying, oh yeah, I have a 30-year business loan and you don't need to worry about it. The main point here is if you're still looking for funding, SBA still has billions and billions of dollars. They're not going to run out of EIDL funding, at least not until March or April. Worst case scenario, in my opinion. They're working with folks, even if you've been denied 1 or 2 times, if you had revenue in 2019, or if 2019 was an anomaly and you need to take 2018 revenue, they're working with applicants on increases. And we are helping people figure out what the SBA needs, how to submit it, and how to get this funding, not only on your portal like this, but more importantly in your bank account, because we know lots of people, you've seen this on your portal, but you still may have had to wait a couple weeks or several weeks to get the funding in your business bank account. The link is right below if you want one-on-one support to skip the queue and book a time, risk-free, helloskip.com/join to choose premium or VIP. So thanks for tuning in. I want to give you a quick preview of what's coming up, you know, how we got this channel from basically 100 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers by talking about funding that would help you, in particular, EIDL funding, explaining these processes. We're going to do an in-depth video about that story, how I first learned about all things SBA, all things EIDL, and the journey over the past 2 years covering this. So that's coming in a video in the next couple days. I'd like to start sharing more of our stories. Hit subscribe, turn on the alerts. At the very least, go enter our $1,000 grants giveaway. It's free to enter. We're picking more winners next week. Most importantly, thanks so much for watching. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.